This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer. And back-to-school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. For 125 years, Nordstrom has been part of your story. The stylist who found the perfect outfit for your big interview. The first pair of walking shoes for your 1-year-old. The tomato soup you shared with your sister at the cafe. These are the moments that make Nordstrom, Nordstrom. Big or small, we're here for all of it. Celebrating 125 years with new moments still ahead. Discover it all in Nordstrom stores and at Nordstrom.com.
Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I am so happy that you decided to join us. If you like this podcast, you should go over and listen to a bunch of the other ones in our network, with like the 5-Minute Basketball Coaching Podcast, or High School Hoops, or Coaching Youth Hoops. All of those are, I think, interesting, and we would love if you left a 5-star review. You can leave those 1-star reviews at home. But before we jump into the topic today, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. Mention Coach Unplugged and you'll get $450 off. You'll get great customer service. It is, I can tell you from someone that's still coaching, it has helped my team immensely. I can't tell you the number of shots that we have taken on our Dr. Dish machines. And then also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. 25 years ago, when I took over a program that no one wanted, that had 5 winning seasons in 35 years, I was the only applicant. No one wanted it. I would have killed for a resource like teachhoops.com. It took me years to turn it into a national powerhouse. And I have put all that secret sauce inside of teachhoops.com. So come over and check it out. 14-day free trial. It will give you the roadmap. It will give you me. It will give you one-on-one calls and office hours and a community of like-minded coaches. I think you'll love it. Let's head off to the podcast. All right. Welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops. Coach. I know.
How are you?
Pretty good, other than I was having some microphone issues before we came on, but I think I figured it out.
You sound fine.
I know. I think by the time people see me this summer, I'm going to have a whole new setup. That's in my goal, is to clean the office. It looks like it's clean, but it's really.
Yeah, my son and wife also want to redo my podcast studio. So go.
Yeah, I got to talk to your son about what I should get for mics, and I want to get a board.
It's not Cadillac version anymore. What do we say?
What our generation could definitely call it the Cadillac version. Yeah. I would ask him what I should get.
Yeah, he would definitely tell. Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, I know what he would tell you, but I will.
You can send it to me, but anyway, that I can hook up to my computer and the mobile. All right. So today, sponsors. Let's give a big shout out, Coach.
Yeah, coaches, go check out coachingyouthhoops.com for all of your coaching needs. Soup to nuts. We help you plan your entire season, preseason, season, and then even postseason, what to do. Full season of practice plans, drills, offenses, defenses, everything you need. Just find, search, and you'll have your entire season done. coachingyouthhoops.com.
All right. So what's today's topic, Coach?
Today we're going to talk about creative solutions when you have limited resources. Could be money resources, time resources, space resources. As a youth coach, we're always limited in time and resources in a gym, money a lot of times as well. Equipment. Thankfully for basketball, it's not too bad. You just need, a couple basketballs potentially, right? You could drill down into even equipment for the kids, like shoes and uniforms. We can, discuss some of that. I heard one yesterday from a coach, and that's what gave me this idea. Uh, so I'll start with this. The average cost in the United States for a youth player, one player to play a youth sport, and this is average, and I've heard it now. I'll give you the average range that I heard it. Heard it as the average as low as $800 and $2,000 per team you sign up for. So $800 to $2,000 for youth to play sports. That's one youth. Okay. So I heard that range. And before our game yesterday, I was talking to the opposing coach, and he was telling me he never charges more than $350. I'm like, how do you do that with $350? Because you got gym space to rent, you have insurance, you have the tournament fees to pay for, etc. And he says, you know what, now I think is probably a unique situation, but I don't know if we could do that here in the Bay Area. He was just outside the Bay Area. Uh, which was pretty brilliant. He encourages all the families to go sign up for their local YMCA. Okay, so they have to pay a fee there, but the kids can go to that anytime they want, right? As long as they have the membership or any other gym type where they have workout equipment and a basketball gym. And then the way he structured it was he then can get the gym space for no cost. So he doesn't have gym costs, and he can practice 2 days a week in the gym. The kids have to come, but they have to join that gym. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. The kids
Right.
get to work out anytime they want. They have the use of the basketball facilities
for
and the workout
practice.
facilities. The gym owner, right, creates additional revenue because
They probably get family memberships and stuff too.
that's right. Right. And then the coach gets to use the gym space for his practices 2 days a week. And that's how he manages the expense that he charges per family.
That's a great idea.
Great.
That's about as creative as you can get.
That's one of the more creative ideas that I've heard. But talk about managing gym. Okay, you have limited time in a gym. I was talking to another coach. I said, we have 2 practices a week, an hour and a half each. You have to he was a young coach. I said, you have to really break the game down and do it in chunks. You
Right.
can't, I was comparing it to a high school coach that's got 6 days a week. He can do an offense, he can do a zone offense and a zone defense, quick
Right.
hitters, the whole 9 yards, right? And when you have 2 days a week in a gym time, you can't do everything and prepare for your first tournament. And, it's got to be layered over time. But I said, come up with simple solutions. We have this thing, we call it hot potato. Anytime we play a zone. And it's if you ever played hot potato, you're just passing the ball from one person to the next. We stack 3 people in a line at the volleyball line, and we're just passing from one person to the other. Now, what does this have to do with being creative, managing time? Well, that's my zone offense. It's the best zone offense I've ever come up with in the limited time that I have to teach it, right? And I would say it's good enough, right, at the youth level. So you have to also just get creative with your time and what you teach and have your philosophies. You'll hear an interview coming up. Another coach had suggested just come in with a practice plan. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com for your practice plan needs.
Boom. Mic drop.
But, he was talking about, I asked him, I said, what's the one piece of advice? He's been coaching for 30 years. What's the one piece of advice you would give to a young coach? Have a plan. Come in with a practice plan. So you're organized and you know exactly what you're going to teach. You don't ramble. You know how your drills and things are going to stack over time. So those are just a few tips from me that, at the top of my head in conversations that I've had recently with other coaches.
Well, I think what are the biggest obstacles, and what do they have to be creative about? They have to be creative about, expenses. So I think you got to figure a way to kind of build a community.
Sponsorships too.
Yes,
right?
community, but you need to build a community of parents and community members and things like that. I think so. I mean, expense just.
How do you mean that? Yeah, for example, when you said build a community.
Well, sometimes you
expenses.
never know. Parents have different ways of funding things. They have business relationships. They have maybe you're running a nonprofit, so they have ways of maybe their employer matches money for their, I mean, there's, again, got to be very creative when it comes to that. And I think the next thing is creative space. Maybe someone has a basketball court in their backyard. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's where you got to be sometimes creative as far as, maybe it's a fundraising clinic. Maybe it's something like that, you could run a clinic for area kids. You could use it to find new players, but you could also use it to fundraise for the specific tournament you're going to or whatever it is. I mean, I think another big expense is probably uniform wise,
right?
Or outfitting them. How can you gamify that? How can you, figure a way to find cool and relevant jerseys and things, but also at a I'm sure Walmart's not a, I don't know, expensive department store kind of thing. I don't know. But trying to keep that expense down, I think, is hard. And that's where parents and community can help brainstorm ideas. Like you've mentioned a couple ideas, have a shoot-a-thon, there's infinite number of ways of being creative. I remember selling light bulbs door to door, I think, when I was a
light
kid.
bulb?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we sold light bulbs. People always needed light bulb, and you show up and explain what it's for. They'll, you'd be surprised how much they'll pay for a set of light bulbs. I think it was light bulbs. I remember selling candy for Little League. But anyway, did not enjoy it, but had to be done.
I guess the message there is that, creative fundraising ideas, reach out to the community, see if you can find the local credit union that might want to sponsor the uniforms, and then you trade something, right? They get a name on their logo or email sent out to the family, and then they help support the uniform costs. Also, when looking for uniforms, there's a handful of actual manufacturers of uniforms, and if you can find source direct, then the cost is going to be cheaper. There's layers in between that. Then there's little shops that pop up online, or even in your local community, but they're the middleman, right? They buy from the wholesalers. A lot of wholesalers will sell.
Yeah. It's cutting out the middleman. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Coach?
Yeah, coaches, just get creative. We all run into obstacles no matter the size of our program, but don't let that hold you back from, again, what are we all trying to do? Trying to make better humans, better basketball players. So get creative, do your research, reach out to Steve and I. We probably have a few more ideas we didn't mention here, that we've done over the years in being creative in the space and the resources that we have exposure to. So, and then again, go to coachingyouthhoops.com. Go check out everything that we offer there, from practice plans to drill finders to any helpful resource to get you on the right path in your coaching journey. Coachingyouthhoops.com.
All right, next week.
To next week.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you love it and you want to support us, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. 14-day free trial as we talk. Subscribe, like, jump up and down, do whatever you got to do. Those Apple Podcasts mean a lot to us. I read every one of them. Have a great day.
Thumbtack presents Uncertainty Strikes. I was surrounded. The aisle and the options were closing in. There were paint rollers, satin and matte finish, angle brushes, and natural bristles. There were too many choices. What if I never got my living room painted? What if I couldn't figure out what type of paint to use? What if I just used Thumbtack? I can hire a top-rated pro that knows everything about interior paint, easily compare prices, and read reviews. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
Meet the Red Bull Dragonberry Energizer. It's one of the many new drinks out now. Who knew ice-cold drinks could be so fire? Try them all, only at McDonald's.